Hello, friends. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit today about journaling. And we're going to talk about it for two separate purposes. One purpose will be just for our study and what we need from you for this study. The second portion of it is just for you and for your life and in general, so you hopefully see another tool that you have in your tool bag always to help with anxiety and stress levels. So for the study specifically, we encourage you to have, we're not going to give you a list, but we encourage you to have a list of questions you ask yourself daily that will help you to measure the results that you see and be able to give an accurate reflection at the end of our week. Some examples of questions you could keep track of would be, number one, when did you take your capsule during the day? Or was it a day maybe that you took 2 capsules? And when or how much did you diffuse during the day? Did you just diffuse before bed, or did you take your diffuser to work as well and diffuse twice maybe? And then with the topical application, maybe just noting, was this a day that I felt like I used it a lot, or did I maybe forget and only use it once at the very beginning of the day? Taking note of that. And then below that, also taking note of any specific triggers you had for the day. Those can either be like individualized triggers that you have personally, or maybe it was just like a common stress thing that anybody would have anxiety with, like your tire was flat and you were late to work, something like that. But just literally take note of all the specific triggers and like anxiety causing issues that you had during the day. And then from that point, really trying to be aware and noting, like, did I ever have a moment during the day where I felt jittery, or I was feeling heart palpitations, or I maybe had a mini panic attack, or anything like that? Take note of that, as well as how quickly did I fall asleep, and did I sleep well? Did I stay asleep for the night? Did I get a good night's rest? Noting all of that. And then the second piece of this is just journaling in general and why it can be such a helpful practice. Typically, journaling can take anywhere from like 5 to 15 minutes. It does not need to be anything fancy, but this can even be something you do alongside a breathing ritual you do before you go to bed at night. So when you journal, the reason journaling, you guys might all be journalers already, but I'm just going to remind you of some of the benefits. Journaling is beneficial because ultimately it gives you space in your life to self-reflect. And through that self-reflection, you can ultimately a lot of times minimize the anxiety you feel through the self-examination you're doing. So an example would be, for me, typically, a lot of times I'll feel stress and anxiety when I have a lot to do and I don't know when I'm going to get it all done. So a common practice for me that's a form of journaling is I literally will just brain dump all the things I need to do. So I know that I'm not going to forget anything. They're all listed out here. And then I plan out the times that I'm going to do things and even like prioritize them and think like, are there any things that can go off of this list? Are there any things that somebody else could help me with? All those sorts of questions. Another example would be if you have a relationship where there's a lot of emotions coming up and anxiety caused because this relationship is maybe at risk. Journaling gives you that opportunity to process through, again, your feelings, your emotions. And through that process, I encourage you to ask yourself questions. Like, a lot of times we assume the way something's going to go and we assume the worst. But what if it went well? And maybe journal through that. And as you journal, number one, look for opportunities that you can make small shifts or take action in a way that you know will decrease the anxiety you're feeling. Number two, as you're journaling, ask yourself questions like, what if instead of it going the worst it could go, what if it went the best? And just try to flip your perspective on things that are inducing anxiety for you. So hopefully that's helpful. I cannot wait to hear your guys' feedback at the end of this week. But today, I specifically would love to hear from you if journaling is something that you want to do on a daily basis. Maybe it's something you never do, or maybe you just do it here or there. Let us know. See you guys.